All right, so my top 10 favorite movies of all time. This is a list I haven't done in quite a while, at least a handful of months, and that was for the podcast. So now I'm doing it for the YouTube channel. And don't make fun of me for my choices on this list. Are they necessarily the best movies of all time? No, but they're the ones that mean the most to me. So yeah, there you go. Be kind and don't make fun of me for my choices. Also, I'd love to know your list, so comment down below. Tell me your list of your top 10 favorite movies of all time. I would love to know. I would love to see what you guys think, what movies really speak to you, and yeah, just get a little conversation going there. But yeah, let's get into this list. Starting at number 10, I have 2017's Baby Driver. Edgar Wright is a fantastic director, and that is no exception with this movie. Has some of the best car chase slash action scenes of really any movie that I've seen, but like at the same time, you can't really compare it to anything else because it's doing something very different from anything else. I mean, the way that even Ansel Elgort, the star of the film, who plays Baby in the film, he actually learned how to like kind of drive a car like a stunt performer. So these scenes where he's like, there's one particularly where he's going down an alleyway and there's two trucks backing up, and he's driving forward. Then he does a whole like drift around both of the trucks. So he drifts this way around one truck and this way around another. And it's shit like that that I just love to see in these types of movies. But that is not the reason why I love this movie. I mean, the acting is good. The stunts are amazing. But the thing I love most about this movie is how music is integrated with the film. And they honestly go hand in hand. There's scenes where, like, the thing I think of first is not the opening scene, but the scene after that. It's as simple as him going to grab coffee. And you just see, like, there's a song playing, and the surroundings kind of go along with the song. So this didn't actually happen, but let's say somebody was cleaning a window. So, there's a little beat that goes, so you'll have somebody, like, squirting the bottle on the window going, you know what I mean? Like, the actions, the movements, and the surrounding just things that are going on. It seems like it's part of the song. And that's something I really love about this movie overall. That's the reason why it's on this list, really, is just because I haven't seen a movie really do that before. So, yeah, that's why it's on the list. If you haven't seen Baby Driver, I highly recommend you check it out. Yeah, it has Kevin Spacey in it, but just put that aside and just enjoy the film. But yeah, Baby Driver, number 10. At number 9, I have episode 6 of Star Wars, Return of the Jedi from 1983. Obviously, I was not born in the 80s, but this is a movie I used to rent all the time at the video store with my grandpa. In fact, this is the only Star Wars movie I had seen for a long time, because every time I'd go to the video store, I would rent that one and only that one. First time I ever wanted to pick out a different Star Wars movie, I chose Attack of the Clones. So yeah, not a great choice there, but Return of the Jedi will always be one of my favorites. Honestly, my favorite Star Wars movie, just because it holds a lot of sentimental value to me from my childhood. Being with my grandpa, who is no longer with me, brings back good memories. So it might not be the best Star Wars movie, but it's my favorite. At number 8, I have Kill Bill Volume 1 from 2003. And sorry, YouTube, I don't know how you feel about weapons, but don't worry, it's not sharp. This is a replica of the bride's sword from Kill Bill. And got this maybe like 3-4 years ago for about $200. Most I've ever spent on something like this. In fact, I don't really have anything else like this in like any collection. This is like the only replica of anything that I really have. But I love this sword. I love the movie. Uma Thurman is incredible as the bride. Quentin Tarantino, great director. Not the first Quentin Tarantino movie I watched, but definitely one of my favorites. It has some cool anime scenes in there, which is completely different from anything Quentin Tarantino has done in any of his other films. I mean, this movie has very good style to it, and it's a really fun watch. So if you haven't seen Kill Bill Volume 1 or Volume 2, I definitely recommend checking out both, but Volume 1 is definitely my favorite out of the two. As for number 7, I have 2014's Whiplash, which stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. Miles Teller playing a jazz band student and, drummer, I should say, and J.K. Simmons playing the most insane teacher in the world, literally hurling chairs and symbols at people and yelling at them. And he's an insane teacher. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like a decent amount of people have probably heard of this movie, but I think there's even more people that haven't. And that's very disappointing to me because this is one of my favorite movies. The last scene of this movie is just a drum solo, essentially, which goes on for over 5 minutes. And I honestly, no lie, have listened to that on Spotify multiple times, watched that scene multiple times. It is one of the best ending scenes of any movie I've seen pretty much in my whole life. I don't know, just the way it builds you up and slows you down and builds you back up again. It's an incredible film. I mean, there's a lot of great character moments. I mean, you kind of hate Miles Teller's character a little bit in the film for certain things that he does, but at the same time, he's just so dedicated to what he wants to do and being a musician and being a drummer that nothing else will get in his way. And that's just a cool kind of personality kind of thing to see. His personality, the kind of person who doesn't seem like he ever wants to give up on anything that he's trying to work towards. And then you have J.K. Simmons, who wants to break him down as much as possible so that he might quit to hurt out the weak. But yeah, I mean, it's not a film for everybody, but I would recommend you check it out if you are open to that kind of thing. You don't have to like jazz band. You don't have jazz. You don't have to like jazz or that type of music. You don't have to like drums. You don't need that kind of stuff to like this movie. So check it out. At number 6, I have 2015's The Martian. Yes, you can tell most of these are, from 2000 onward because that's when I was born. So that's just kind of the movies I like. I mean, I like a lot of older films, but yeah, 2015's The Martian starring Matt Damon is honestly my favorite science fiction movie of all time. It's the only science fiction movie out there that seems very plausible and seems like it could actually happen. For those of you who don't know, it's basically about Matt Damon being left on Mars and having to survive for himself. So very, very long movie from what I remember. I mean, it's been a little bit since I've watched it, but I remember the first time I watched it, staying up super late to finish it and absolutely loving the crap out of this movie. I mean, it's suspenseful. You're watching him live on Mars and you're like on edge, hoping that he's going to survive. And not only that, the movie looks incredible. Just check it out. I mean, space and stuff like that, it's not something I know a lot about, but it is something that really fascinates me. So for that reason, amongst many others, The Martian from 2015 is at my number 6 spot. At number 5, I have 2019's Avengers Endgame. And, I mean, come on, it's Endgame. Oh, there goes my light. Yeah, so I have not had a theater experience for any movie as crazy as the experience I had for this one. This is a film that was 10 years in the making. It was a cultural phenomenon. And I remember like feeling different about life. I remember my body and my brain, like after I left that movie and sat with it for like an hour, just life felt different, after having seen that, which is weird. Like, I don't think I've ever felt that way about a movie. Probably even weirder that it's at number 5 and not number 1, but just, critically, from a critical standpoint, it's not like the best movie on here in my opinion. In fact, it might be surprising to a lot of you that there's only one Marvel movie on this list. Spoiler alert for the next few, but yeah, I mean, this one I haven't felt the way I did about a movie after watching it the way I did about Avengers Endgame. Again, it was a cultural experience. It left me like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe how I felt after coming out of that movie, but it was a whirlwind of emotions for sure. So Avengers Endgame, I mean, I feel like it kind of had to go on this list. So that's at number 5. At number 4 from 2016, I have La La Land starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. For those of you who don't know, I very much like musicals, and this is definitely my favorite one of all time. That being said, I haven't really seen a whole lot of musicals. I haven't seen like Les Miserables or anything like that, but just to name a few, I like Mamma Mia, I like Hamilton, In the Heights, and this one, of course. But yeah, this movie just visually, I love the colors, the way it pops. Oh, low battery message there. I just love the way the colors pop on screen. I love the music. Again, this is another movie with kind of jazz type music that you don't really need to like jazz in order to like it. There's great musical numbers. The first musical number, like some people might say, oh, La La Land's not that much of a musical. Dude, literally look at the opening musical number. People getting out of their cars on the highway, jumping on cars, dancing, singing, all that kind of stuff. That's a musical in my eyes. I feel like there's people out there that might look at La La Land and not necessarily take it fully as a musical, but I do personally. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are incredible in the film. Love the music, as I said before. Love the visual, just the way the colors pop. Yeah, really fun movie. Really very much enjoy it. Has a good story as well. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely recommend it. I almost won Bex. I can't freaking talk right now. Almost won Best Picture, which I would imagine that was 2017. But I think it ended up being maybe like Moonlight or something like that. It was that year where they announced the winner on stage, and then they're like, oh, no. I think the actual director of La La Land was like, oh, no, you guys won. So yeah, that was a crazy year for sure. But La La Land at number 4. At number 3, I have the first Quentin Tarantino movie I ever watched. I'm sure it's the first for a lot of people out there. That is 1994's Pulp Fiction. I've watched this movie so many times and honestly can never really get enough of it. It's hilarious. Fantastic actors in here. John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis. Why can't I think of her name? I literally just said it earlier. Uma Thurman. Ving Rhames. Who else is in this? I mean, there's a lot of really great actors in here. There's a lot of great moments of humor. Just a really great story overall. And it just, even though it's from the 90s, it makes you feel like you're in the 70s. I mean, I guess it could. I guess the movie could take place in the 90s, but it almost feels a little more 80s to me. But I'm pretty sure it takes place in the 90s. So forget everything I just said before, but there's moments in this movie where it makes you feel like you're in a completely different time period. So, I mean, there's a restaurant they go to where it feels like 50s era. So, I mean, Quentin Tarantino, amazing director. He just transports you into whatever film that he's putting out there. So, Pulp Fiction, definitely my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. First one I ever watched, and honestly, I fell in love with Quentin Tarantino's work ever since. So, there you go. And I don't know if I already said this, but this does change quite a bit. The only thing that doesn't change is my number 1 movie. But things have changed around quite a bit in terms of things I put on this list and things I don't. But, oh my God, that light again. At number 2, I have 1984's The Karate Kid. For those of you who don't know, I'm a giant Karate Kid / Cobra Kai fan. Seen all the seasons of Cobra Kai. You can go check out the reviews for all that on the channel. I might review the Karate Kid films at some point. I know there's a new film coming out, I think next year or the year after. So I'm definitely excited to check that out. But this film, even though I wasn't born in the 80s, still gives me so much nostalgia. I don't even know if I watched this movie as a kid. I feel like I did. But at the same time, I feel like I might have watched that Jaden Smith one first when I was younger. But that being said, I love this movie. I love the characters. Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso, Mr. Miyagi. I love all the characters in there. It hypes me up. And yeah, I honestly can't get enough of it. I'm surprised I didn't put it in my number 1. But the thing I have in number 1 has been in my number 1 spot for so long that it feels like I can't budge on it. And that is 1994's The Shawshank Redemption. What can I say about this movie that already hasn't been said? It literally is listed as one of the best movies of all time, one of the movies you need to watch before you die. I believe it's based off of a Stephen King novel, but just for a little backstory here, the first time I watched this was actually in law class in high school, and I mean, it was on a shitty little TV, so it wasn't easy to see it at all. In fact, it feels like the kind of TVs they would have had in a prison, but I don't know, something about this movie always just grabbed me. It made me emotional, especially, I mean, I don't really want to, yeah, that's how my night's going apparently. But But yeah, something about this movie like immediately gripped me. I believe I went home and watched the whole thing because obviously it's a, it's a high school class, so it only lasts like maybe 40 minutes. But I remember going home and watching the whole thing, coming back and still being excited to rewatch it pretty much. So, I mean, great characters, great story. It's unlike any movie I've watched before, for sure. So, Shawshank Redemption is at my number one, and it has been for a very long time. Don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, there you go. There are my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Once again, comment down below. Tell me what your top 10 favorite movies are of all time. I would love to know, love to hear from you, and just kind of see what's on your list. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I will see you in the next one.